This is Margaret Beaufort. She was the mother of Henry Tudor, who became King Henry VII of England, and generally this is how she's always portrayed. She almost looks like a nun. But what is not generally known is about her crazy childhood. She was married incredibly young and she gave birth at 13. Born in around 1441, Margaret was the sole heiress of John Beaufort, the Duke of Somerset. Margaret was descended from royalty, so from birth she was always a pawn of political intrigue. As a toddler, she was married to a man called John de la Pole. However, this was later dissolved. As she was so young at this point, this was a political marriage. There were definitely no expectations of her being a wife or anything like that. It was an alliance between two families. However, during this time, women were considered to be of marriageable age from the age of 12. Generally, this was to coincide with puberty. However, some families didn't want their daughters to leave home until the age of 16, and so although they were married, they weren't expected to do any wifely duties, and the same with sons as well. However, of course, for some really politically ambitious families who wanted to have an heir to secure their line, girls as young as 12 were expected to enter into the marriage bed. And this is what happened to poor young Margaret. So even before an annulment was granted regarding her first marriage, Henry VI chose Margaret as a bride for his half-brother, who was called Edmund Tudor, the first Earl of Richmond. This, of course, was another political wrangling, and so the 12-year-old Margaret married the 24 or 25-year-old Edmund. Some think that she might actually have even been younger than this. Within the year, her new husband was dead. He had been captured during the War of the Roses and had died of plague in captivity in Carmarthen. He left behind a 13-year-old pregnant widow. Margaret gave birth at the age of 13 and she wasn't physically mature, and so this birth was incredibly difficult and traumatising. This birth was likely to have caused permanent damage to Margaret because she never again got pregnant. John Fisher, who was Margaret's confessor, actually wrote in a sermon that it was such a miracle that a baby could be born of, quote, so little a personage. Remarkably, this traumatic experience did not break Margaret. In fact, it strengthened her resolve. And she ended up helping her son Henry become King of England.